What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol MMAT for Metamaterials Inc. On the left-hand side, we're looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, we have the 30-minute intraday time frame. This, of course, will be more of an update since we covered it in recent history here, kind of semi-regularly on the channel, actually. And for now, certainly some good follow-through to the upside after a gap up, the gap filled, and we actually closed back above the prior day's high. So that's noteworthy to me. In terms of upside targets, we still have this 670 mark simply coming from prior support in here. And then after that, these upper wicks are coming in right around $8. So those levels have not changed. But if there is still some more upside follow through, the next major area of contention I can see forming would be up around here, prior area of support from the daily perspective at $9.61. Zooming back in a little bit, you can certainly see also that we have started a new daily uptrend, right? So that is important here. And what we're going to do is focus on the 30-minute to actually map this out. And there's two support trend lines I would encourage you to follow. So the first one would look something like this, and that's probably the dominant support trend line simply because it's coming in from the major low way down here, right? And then if we look at the sort of shorter term one, it's even steeper, looking something like this. And you can clearly see that we have anchor right here. We get touch one on this lower wick, and then we get a number of touches into the end of the day on what looked like Wednesday, right? So all things considered, whenever you have a primary and a secondary support trend line, a dominant and a secondary, again, whatever you like to call them, you usually expect the first one to maybe provide a first touch reaction like that. But generally, because it's much steeper and this trajectory isn't sustainable, you expect it to break sideways through time, and that's not the end of the world at some point in time. But because we have continually made higher high and higher high, if we were to see a bigger pullback into the dominant or primary support trend line, that would be a first touch buy with a stop loss just underneath, looking for a reversal back up and out of it. So those are longer term thoughts here on metamaterials. What I want to do though is focus in a little bit better on the intraday time frame and what unfolded on Friday to discuss this price action and what might happen a little bit better. So clearly out of the gates, there was an opening drive higher. It was on a gap up, and that momentum quickly faded as this upper wick was put in, and then we did fill the gap to the downside. And again, what I think is interesting here is that we were able to close the day back above the high of Thursday, right? So technically we filled the gap and closed above. That does strike me as more bullish than bearish. What I want to do now is just map out that this is the real area to break. If we can get back above 550, then I would expect more upside continuation, probably a revisit of today's high, Friday's high, at $6.42. So please have that on your radar. Of course, after that, it's the 670 and levels we discussed from the daily, but it's all going to be unlocked through the door of $5.50. Why is that? Again, it's simply where we closed. You can see it offered some prior support in here, resistance just before. So if we can clear it, I would expect more upside. If we go sideways through the support trend line, not the end of the world. If we get more of a aggressive pullback, you are looking for a first touch buy at the dominant or primary support trend line. So those are my thoughts. It would be even better here if the support trend line coincided with this 470. That's kind of how I drew the arrow, and that is what we would call a super support on the channel, right? So if this were to happen here and we printed a hammer candle, maybe this happens on the daily, maybe it happens intraday, you're looking for a long-sided pullback buy. Again, stop goes under the low of whatever happens here, just under the support trend line, and you're looking for that reversal to get back up into some of the targets which we've discussed from today's video. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything new, if you enjoyed the update, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Remember that we do want to see volume remain elevated as we're on this aggressive move higher. If it does start to fade off, that would be one of those scenarios where you expect the sideways action to break the support trend line and maybe even a slow grind into that dominant support trend line. So those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments section or by giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.